Have you ever felt the world shift around you, as though a hidden presence were calling from beyond the familiar? Imagine descending into an underground realm where shadows flicker on damp walls, and the line between life and death is as real as breath itself. In this enigmatic place, a young goddess holds the key to nature's cycles of decay and rebirth. Her name is Persephone, and her story pulses at the heart of ancient Greek mythology. It is here that innocence encounters darkness, and from that encounter, life takes on a new form.
Curious about mythology? The gods have spoken. You must follow Elysium mythology to uncover its mysteries. Don't miss a single episode.
The myth of Persephone begins far from darkness. She was born to Demeter, the goddess of the harvest and fertility, and was initially called Kor, meaning maiden. In that identity, Persephone personified youth, sunlight, and abundance. She wandered through endless meadows of flowers and grain, guarded by her mother's power. Demeter, in turn, ensured that the earth flourished, as though the vibrancy of her daughter's spirit spilled over into every field and orchard. In the underworld, a separate reality unfolded. Hades, ruler of the dead, presided over an austere landscape where shades of lost souls drifted in quiet gloom. Although he rarely ventured above ground, Hades was destined to intersect with Persephone. Ancient tales differ on how their paths crossed. Some say Zeus arranged the match. Others claim Hades glimpsed Persephone by chance and felt an unshakable fascination. Either way, he was irresistibly drawn to the radiance she embodied. One day, while Persephone gathered flowers, a strange blossom caught her eye. The moment she reached to pick it, the ground gaped open. Hades appeared in a chariot, pulled by dark horses, and then seized her. The earth then sealed, muffling her cries and leaving her companions stunned. Thus began Persephone's unexpected descent. Demeter was devastated by her daughter's disappearance. She wandered the earth, disguised as a mortal, searching for answers. In her grief, she withdrew her blessings from the land, causing crops to fail and famine to spread. Livestock starved, and mortals pleaded with the gods for relief. Yet Demeter's anguish was so fierce that no power could persuade her to restore fertility until Persephone was returned. In the underworld, Persephone found herself torn from everything she knew. The sun's warmth, the laughter of her companions, and her mother's presence, all were gone. Hades, though formidable, was not entirely heartless. He offered her dominion as queen of the underworld, albeit alongside the reminder that she was there against her will. Surrounded by barren plains and ghostly spirits, Persephone discovered hidden dimensions within herself. She learned to empathize with the wandering souls and grew to understand the gravity of the realm she now partly ruled. Meanwhile, mortals suffered under Demeter's wrath. Their crops failed, and hunger ravaged villages. Alarmed by the cataclysm, Zeus sent messages urging Demeter to restore the harvest. When she refused, he realized the human race was on the brink of extinction. Pressured by the pleas of both mortals and gods, Zeus intervened. He commanded Hades to let Persephone return to her mother, thus ending the devastating famine. However, the underworld was bound by ancient laws. If one consumed food in that realm, one was tied to it. Persephone had eaten 6 pomegranate seeds. Whether it happened through trickery or resignation, her fate was sealed. She could not remain above ground forever. For 6 months of the year, she would ascend to Demeter, bringing spring and summer in her wake. For the remaining 6, she would reside with Hades, and the land above would slip into autumn and winter. At first glance, this seasonal explanation satisfied the Greeks, who observed the Earth's yearly cycles. Yet the myth's appeal goes beyond agriculture. Persephone's story speaks to life's twists, how sudden events can uproot us, how our identities evolve under pressure, and how even profound loss can forge new wisdom. In many versions, Persephone transitions from a passive victim to a queen who rules with compassion and authority, bridging life and death. Demeter's transformation is equally pivotal. She learns that despite her boundless love, she cannot fully shield her child from harsh realities. The mother-daughter bond becomes a reflection of universal relationships, an unbreakable connection tested by circumstance. Through this myth, we see that affection can endure seismic changes, although it may never return to the simplicity it once knew. The Eleusinian mysteries were sacred rites dedicated to Demeter and Persephone, offering participants a promise of spiritual rebirth and hope in the afterlife. Celebrated in secret, these ceremonies reenacted Persephone's journey, reminding initiates that just as seeds lie dormant in the soil before bursting forth, so too might human souls find renewal after darkness. This idea resonates beyond ancient Greece. Many of us experience a descent, a time of confusion, sorrow, or isolation, only to emerge with fresh insights. Think of life's upheavals, whether it's moving away from home, enduring heartbreak, or navigating an uncertain future. Like Persephone, we may find ourselves in a place we never intended, yet discover within us an unexpected capacity for growth. The myth symbolizes that every winter, literal or metaphorical, leads to spring. Hades' role also merits reflection. He represents inevitable endings, the secrets hidden below life's surface, and the solemn duty of receiving every mortal in the end. His relationship with Persephone, while undeniably forceful, introduces a tenderness into a domain long dominated by dread. She brings a spark of empathy to the underworld, tempering its gloom with a subtle sense of hope. In certain versions, Hades learns to admire and even respect Persephone's independence, though the initial abduction remains morally fraught. The complexity of their dynamic mirrors real-life relationships, where the line between conflict and mutual reliance can blur. Furthermore, the cycle of Persephone's departure and return is a testament to the power of contrasts. We need both light and darkness, rest and growth. The earth cannot bear fruit constantly, nor can souls persist in eternal brightness. There must be space for introspection and regeneration, qualities often found in the quieter seasons of life. When Persephone ascends each year, the joy of rebirth is made more profound by the memory of barrenness. Persephone herself stands as a guardian of duality. She is at once the radiant daughter of Demeter and the queen who presides over death's domain. She chooses, or is compelled, to occupy both worlds, embodying the tension and balance that shape existence. In that dual role, she shows us how trauma can yield unexpected strength. Her captivity in the underworld forces her to develop resilience and compassion that might never have surfaced in an eternal spring. Consider how this duality can surface in our own journeys. We yearn for perpetual happiness, yet it's often through struggle that we discover empathy and maturity. Like Persephone, we don't abandon our origins. We incorporate new experiences, and in doing so, expand who we are. Even Demeter, who nearly destroys life in her rage, transforms that devastation into a ritual of letting go, accepting that Persephone has grown beyond the sheltered maiden she once was. For the ancient Greeks, these metaphors came to life in festivals and poetry. The myth offered a lens through which to view not only nature's cycles, but also the challenges of human existence, parenthood, loss, love, and rebirth. And for modern audiences, Persephone's story still resonates. Whether we frame it as a coming-of-age journey, a metaphor for emotional upheaval, or an explanation of the seasons, it reflects our perpetual dance between sorrow and celebration. When Persephone finally emerges from the underworld, the earth greets her with unrestrained jubilation. The once dead fields blossom, rivers run clear, and the air vibrates with renewal. It's an image that reminds us how fleeting despair can be when life roars back with all its color and warmth. Demeter's tears of grief morph into tears of joy. Just as Persephone's reappearance awakens the world, so does hope follow suffering in our own lives, renewing what seemed irrevocably lost.
If this video sparked your curiosity, drop a like, or better yet, a super like, and show the gods you want more epic mythology.
Artistic interpretations often portray Persephone in two lights: a frightened young woman at the moment of her abduction, and a regal queen crowned with pomegranates. This dual imagery highlights her transformation. She remains tethered to her mother's world, but also claims authority over the silent halls of Hades. Through that authority, she softens the stark finality of death, offering a glimmer of understanding for the souls in her care. The pomegranate seeds she consumed become a symbol of cyclical destiny, part sustenance, part trap, and part source of power. Even Hades, for all his gloom, stands as an integral figure in the grand design. Without his presence, death would have no anchor, and life's meaning would be incomplete. Through Persephone's influence, he becomes more than a grim jailer. He's a ruler who accepts a partner, forging a realm tempered by empathy. This cooperation suggests that every force in the cosmos, no matter how severe, may harbor complexity waiting to be unearthed. Step back and observe the bigger picture. The shifting seasons, the flourishing and fading crops, the unstoppable flow of time. The Greeks saw these rhythms etched into Persephone's narrative. Spring's riot of color and warmth is her long-awaited return. Winter's starkness reflects her absence. In our modern era, we may no longer pray to Olympian gods for the harvest, but we still grapple with life's ups and downs, each cycle bringing us closer to greater understanding or renewal. Persephone's myth thus becomes a timeless reminder that death, loss, and winter are not endpoints. They are chapters in an ever-unfolding story. In the end, the legend of Persephone teaches us to look beyond surface appearances. The child once known as Kore emerges as a powerful goddess who masters both life and death, day and night, joy and sorrow. Through her journey, we learn that transformations, no matter how disorienting, can awaken strengths we never knew we had. Demeter's unyielding love finds expression in the seasons themselves, an eternal testimony that sorrow can be transmuted into renewal. Hades, though he dwells in the underworld, partakes in an extraordinary partnership that balances the forces of the universe. And mortals, those who depend on the harvest for survival, discover that hope remains alive even in the darkest stretches of winter. Persephone's story, woven into the cultural fabric of ancient Greece, persists because it speaks to every one of us. We've all felt the sting of separation, the sting of abrupt change, and the joy of reunion. We've all tasted a metaphorical pomegranate seed, connecting us irrevocably to experiences we wish we could refuse, yet which shape us profoundly. Ultimately, her myth tells us that descent need not be our downfall. like Persephone, we can ascend once again, infused with renewed purpose, ready to bring new life to the waiting world.
Thanks for watching until the end. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like, share with fellow mythology fans, and follow Elysium Mythology for more epic stories.